back, you guys. This is Skillz again with ComaCloud Gaming. I am solo this time, again. So, you guys are stuck with me. Right now, we've progressed all the way through the Venus star chart, all the way up to Fossa, which is an extermination mission versus a boss. Now, this is one of the final things we need to do to unlock the Mercury. It is the final thing. Okay, it looks like we killed another Eximus last time during this mobile defense mission. So this is the last thing that we need to do to unlock the Mercury Junction. Now, I am going to attempt this solo first before I switch my matchmaking to public and attempt to find a group for it. Just in the interest of you guys only having to deal with me. I cannot promise that I'm going to complete it the first time through doing it solo, but I will try. And that's what we're going to do right now. These types of missions are difficult on purpose, and usually it's recommended to have a group. I'm going to attempt this solo and see if it can be done. It can be done. I'm going to see if it can be done at my current Warframe level, mod availability, and mastery level. We're going to mostly skip past most of the enemies, to be honest. This is an assassination type mission, so we don't need to deal with them quite as much. We will still have to deal with them, obviously. They did start the alarms. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off this time around. I've already killed all the Eximuses I need to, so I don't want any extra Eximus enemies if I can avoid them. Because they are a little bit trying to conserve energy and stuff like that until I make it to the boss. This boss is the Jackal. You'll see him when I come across him. I will intentionally not skip the cinematic because I remember I did that once by mistake, and it was a mistake. Didn't mean to do that to you guys, but I do want you guys to get a taste for some of the cinematic events in the game. I promised you guys that I'd play this completely through to the end for you, and I am going to try not to skip over things like that in the future, even though I've seen it before. I know some of you have not. Oh, can we knock off his helmet? No, we couldn't. If you remember, guys, we try to knock off their helmets first because of the fact that there's an achievement you get for destroying Corpus helmets. If you notice, Taxon does damage things over time. If they don't die from his damage, he'll freeze them, which can be very useful. He is helpful. And if you guys are noticing, I'm picking things up without having to be directly on them. Let me see if I can show you that right now. See those credits? See, they just kind of sucked up into me instead of me having to walk directly over them. Taxon's also useful for determining where enemies are if they're not in your line of sight, because he does shoot them even if they're behind you, and even if they're not in your line of sight. So it is very useful to determining things like that. Something to note here is you don't want to accidentally blow up those windows, because it will create a lockdown that you have to hack, and it will start draining your shields and health because you'll lose the vacuum pressure inside the ship, which actually makes a lot of sense to me. I'm glad that they did things like that, to be honest with you guys. Now this is a liquid nitrogen 2 barrel. Do pay attention before you blow barrels like that up. Now we're going to blow it up because there's a Corpus enemy in there with it. On accident, it looks like that liquid nitrogen barrel took out the windows. That's the lockdown I was talking about. We have to restore the pressure. And we're also going to reset the alarm that comes with that. Alright, we're going to go ahead and continue towards the mission objective now. Is it above me? No, it's on my level. This is the Jackal, you guys. He's not fun to do solo, but we're going to do him solo. I'll go through how to kill him for you. Waiting for the cutscene. Now this one you're going to target his legs first, like this. And then you can target his main body once you've destroyed one of his legs. jeez. Obviously gonna avoid the shockwaves. It does cap the damage you can deal them at a given time. Although with some higher level weapons, it's possible to do a lot more damage to the Jackal. Ow. Definitely avoid the shockwaves again, guys. We killed him. We were able to get Ruinous Extension, +2 range for melee. That can be very useful. Remember we talked about it even helps Excalibur's ability Exalted Blade, to increase the range of your melee. Ow, 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 ow. Those things are exploding. Let's avoid those until they've exploded, huh? Or can we blow them up? We can. Look at that. Alright, so... I have to be a little bit less careful about where you walk for picking things up now, thankfully. Like I said, again, due to that Sentinel that we built. So that's very, very, very good. We're having to run all the way around and pick everything up. It gets tedious. And is a lot slower, and it breaks the flow of the mission sometimes. So it's really useful to have a Sentinel in your loadout. Look, it's an alloy drum that an enemy blew up for us on accident. Ooh, look. Another alloy drum, which will give us some alloy plate. The locker gave us 100 affinity, 49 credits. So these will give us credits and possibly some ammo or other things. I have an elevator. So it's time to go down the elevator. A very short elevator, thankfully. Okay, we're getting a little bit lazy, so we're just going to go ahead and kill him like that. We're going to go and blow that up. I'm going to hack this terminal because we don't like alarms. I'm trying to go through those a little bit more deliberately and less fast than I normally would when I think about it, because I want to show you guys how things are hacked as well as just getting through the mission as well. So, one very important mission reward to notice is the Rhino Systems Blueprint here. As long as you collect the Systems Blueprint, the Neuroptics Blueprint, and the Chassis Blueprint, Chassis spelled C-H-A-S-S-I-S, then you can build those, and you can buy the main Warframe Blueprint from the marketplace, which I'll show you momentarily, and then you can actually build new Warframes. That's how you obtain and build new Warframes. So it's very, very important. Warframes, new Warframes do give you the most affinity towards your next mastery rank out of anything in the game. Or Archwings, actually. Same thing. So we're just going to go under Warframes here. Let's go. The one we just looked at was Rhino, so the one we just got a piece for. So here it gives you the Warframes information. Rhino Charge, Iron Skin, Roar, Rhino Stomp. It'll tell you his passive is he emits a shockwave when he lands from a great height. And then it'll give you his other stats here. Armor of 190, 100 energy, 100 health, and 150 shields, and 0.95 sprint speed. It's, I guess, somewhat important to note that Rhino is literally the slowest sprinting Warframe in the entire game. And then here, you press R1 to get over here to the build option, and it allows you to purchase the blueprint for 35,000 credits. Not going to do that because I'm not farming Rhino right now. I'm definitely not anything near a Rhino main. I don't typically enjoy playing Rhino. I will go through Rhino for you guys. I will play him. I will max him out. I will utilize his abilities and show you how he's used, when is a decent time to play him, when he's useful, things like that. But I will not necessarily go out of my way just to play him all the time. Unless you guys really, really want to see me play Rhino. In which case, like, subscribe, share, post in the comments. See, we've unlocked a new junction. We showed you guys we showed you guys what our junction was a few times ago. We're still going to go ahead and go through this junction again while streaming so you guys can see it. Gives you the Boltor blueprint. Boltor's actually not a bad assault rifle. If you guys are like assault rifles, the Boltor is not a bad one to pick up. We're going to skip this cinematic because it's just your ship landing and dropping you off. Now, I don't remember which Warframe Spectre this one is. We're still going to Exalted Blade. Exalted Blade is a very powerful Warframe ability and makes it very easy to shred through them. See if we can find out which Warframe that was. Hard to tell now. Sorry, guys. Wasn't that hard to kill, thankfully. When you fight Warframes and Junctions, they will have all of their abilities unlocked, technically, and they're going to have their weapons, which I'll refer to at a later point in time and explain what those are. For right now, I'm just going to touch on that. They're going to have their signature weapons. Oh, we got a damaged version of Streamline. How nice. Again, guys, if you guys missed it, I don't like damaged mods. I dislike the fact that the game gives them to you. It's kind of a tease, and the fact that they're not very good as the game progresses. Gave us damage, streamline, damage, fast deflection. I've really never, ever played fast deflection on a mid to late game build ever in my life. Also give us the real Boltor blueprint. I've never seen a damaged version of a Boltor, so it gives a real and a couple of quests here. Howl of the Kubrad once awake. That's what these are. It gave us, as part of our rewards, it gave us quests, which is very cool. Of course, when you complete a junction, it's going to go straight to the next one and open it up. What do we want to do? Should we go through the cinematic quest, or should we go ahead and just start doing the mission nodes? Let me see. Let me look at the requirements for the next junction first. Let's do that. Oh, let's get to Mercury. If you guys notice, look, we can start farming Morphix, which is that resource that I was missing to finish getting the resources I need to build those dual heat swords, which is a little bit better melee weapon than the one I currently have equipped. So that's why we needed to get here. That's right, this isn't the next junction. The next junction is over here, actually. It goes to Mars. Complete quest once awake, and complete Susei on Mercury. Looks like all the other ones I have completed, so that's good. Collected 500 Rubido missions, and I've defeated 150 Frontier Gunners on Earth. So those I've already completed. That makes this a lot easier, but I do have to complete the quest once awake. So let me show you guys how to open that up. You go to your navigation console, you press your R1 button, and it brings up the list of your quests. You can also press it again to go over here to where these Void Fissures are listed. We're not going to mess with those yet. We will explain what those are later. This is the quest once awake. I do want to set that as my active quest. Are you enjoying the view? Okay, we have an unread message. I'm going to read it for you guys, just in case, it's a little bit hard for you to read. Tenno, we have intercepted and partially decrypted a disturbing Grineer communication. A Grineer doctor by the name of Tengus claims to have uncovered some sort of new bioweapon. We have few details, but the message originated out of M Prime. You need to go there and investigate. Sent by the Lotus, which is that mysterious, creepy woman that keeps following us around. That I don't like. Oh, so let's go to M Prime on Mercury. It is time to start the quest once awake. We are gonna try to just run this quest straight through and finish it right now, so that we can go ahead and start on the Mercury nodes and complete Susei, which I believe is the assassination mission, just like the one we did against the Jackal earlier, to open Mercury. So, alright, skip the cinematic, please. And it stuck me in it. Oh, there we go. This is a spy type mission. I've showed you guys what these were before, but just in case you forgot, you have to go to different locations, pass some puzzles. get through some obstacles, and hack a terminal to collect data. Ooh, heavy gunners. Heavy gunners are a lot tougher. They are a higher class enemy than most enemies, so just they are a bit harder to kill. Higher level heavy gunners can be very, very difficult to kill. Okay, this is a crossfire exterminate, it looks like, between the Infested and the Grenier. Remember the Grenier were those really ugly guys like the one I just killed, like a heavy gunner. And the Infested, we'll dig more into what Infested are later, but generally speaking, they're basically these monstrosities that were created in a failed experiment. Oh. Oh! A lockdown has been activated. We also have an alarm. Let's reset that. I don't like alarms. Spamming melee is always an option, guys. Especially when you have a sentinel tell you where all the enemies are. Oh, and these volatile runners, these orange guys, if you slice them with your melee, they don't explode and deal damage to you. If you hit them, if you shoot them with a weapon to kill them, they do explode, and that does deal you damage. Ooh, this one's gonna be weird and difficult. I dislike doing this mission, or this puzzle. Oh, does it not have a laser wall? That makes things a little bit easier. Any kind of guardians? This is strange. This is very, very strange. Normally you'll see some type of guardian or sentinel type enemies in here. Maybe I'm just in too low level of a mission for that to occur. I'm not really sure. You see, then you come over here and you use this elevator. Elevator doors always open behind you, by the way, just so everybody's aware. I'm not sure. I don't believe there's a shortcut into this room. There was another shortcut that I could have showed you, but don't need it most of the time. I'm gonna go and open lockers because who doesn't like lockers, right? Hack the terminal. Yay! Gives you extra affinity if you're undetected when you hack one of those terminals, and that affinity is very useful. That's what just ranked up my Artax actually, so that was very, very good. We're gonna go back to sprinting now. I turn off my sprint because if you crouch while you're sprinting and then you start to walk, it will break your crouch to walk, which can be useful sometimes, but most of the time in that case I would just bullet jump. But if you click off your sprint, then you can remain crouched, and it makes you harder to be detected by enemies. It used to be different than that, but it's that way now, so we just have to get used to it. Ooh, Toxic Ancient. Not Toxic. Ancient Disruptor, my apologies. Ancient Disruptor is an infested type enemy that reduces the damage dealt by your Warframe abilities to it and other infested around it. Touch more on this later when we get into building elemental damage types for different missions, and different loadouts that you can have permanently set up to help you get through certain types of missions. But the radiation damage type, which I actually like a lot, I enjoy it very much. It's useful against almost everything. The one thing that is actually specifically resistant to it is the Infested. Please never, ever, ever use a straight radiation weapon against the Infested. It will not be very effective, you'll be upset, and it won't do you any good. Usually I do this while invisible, so I have to kind of take my time a little bit, I think. There's no iBot. That is also strange. I like it because it makes this easier. But it is very odd to me for something like that to happen. You hack that, because that's going to bring this here. Oh, whoopsies. Oh, my apologies. I have to get to it this way. Just going to bring that over here. And you can use that to bullet jump and aim glide across that distance. Oh, Jesus. I messed up that hacking a little bit, but I guess it's good, because I told you guys I was going to try to take them slower anyways. Also undetected. Taxon just ranked up again. That's always a good thing, right? This is open up this door, just so you guys don't go all the way back around. Opens up this door on the side, which gets you straight back to the entrance here. It's very useful as well. It's kind of funny, because I'll touch more on this part later as well. It's kind of funny because the Warframes are actually part infested. We'll get to more on that later, obviously. Like I said, don't want to give away everything immediately, because that would be, you know, rude. Oh, hello, Grenier. Again, guys, that bullet jump makes you traverse these levels in an entirely different manner. Ancient healers. They're a bit difficult to kill sometimes because of the fact that they restore theirs and other infested around them's health over time, and they do it at a pretty decently fast rate for their level as well. So it's definitely important to note that if you have a group of infested with an ancient healer in it, definitely take them out first. Or if you're using Warframe ability heavy loadout, you see the Ancient Disruptor, the same thing with them. Ancients in general, it's a good idea to take out first. Because you have Toxic Ancients, Ancient Disruptors, and Ancient Healers. Toxic Ancients obviously create clouds of toxin damage, which bypasses your shields and goes straight to your health. Okay, so this was another one. Always with spy missions, guys, be cautious and observe your surroundings. Observing your surroundings is probably the most important thing you can do here. Still is really strange that I haven't seen any of the little iBots. But either way, pretty sure that is probably the best way to go through this mission, it looks like. And then there. And then go this way. And it puts you here. Hack security opens that door over there and extends a bridge. Very, very useful to know about shortcuts like that, gentlemen and ladies. Ooh, can I break you? No, I can't. I was hoping it was something I could break, but apparently not. Whoopsies. Why did I take the elevator? Somebody please explain that to me. I feel like an idiot. Terminal I need to hack was right here the whole time. Okay, any shortcut out of here? Nope, just the bridge. So we're gonna take the bridge back. We're gonna go like this. And we're just gonna run straight to the end. Kill a few enemies along the way if they get in our way, obviously, but in general, we're just gonna try to blast through this because it is sometimes very troublesome to deal with the enemies that spawn in a spy mission, considering the spawns are technically endless. Enemies will never actually stop spawning in a spy mission, ever. Oh, I'm locked out. I remember, guys, every time you're locked out, even if it didn't trip the alarms first, it does come with an alarm being tripped. There's a Toxic Ancient. As you can see, my health is going down up there at the top right because of the toxin proc that it provided. There's an Ancient Disruptor. And an Ancient Healer. Wow, we scored all 3 kinds of Ancients all in one. Whoop. What's that? Oh, I think it's just Ferrite. Still, it's important to obtain all the resources you can, especially when starting. And see, look, killing the extra enemies got Excalibur to rank 20 just off of the regular affinity from this mission. So that's awesome. Excalibur made it to rank 20. This Strut made it to rank 22. Remember, guys, the max is 30, so that means we're making decent progress so far. We're not at all doing poorly. I think I may have time in this segment for one more mission, so we'll go ahead and run that together. You notice I did obtain the Morphics, so I am going to start building that those dual heat swords. Let me see. This dual heat swords is a little bit better melee than the current one I have. So we're going to go ahead and build those. Now that we have the Morphics to do so, we're going to build those. Those take 12 hours to build, so it'll be 12 hours before I can claim them. I'm also just interested in building multiple weapons at once. I'm also going to build the Boltor, just so I can also showcase, if you will, an assault rifle at some point as well. Because I do have a very, personally, as a personal Warframe player, I do have a very fluid play style. I try not to stick to just one thing. I try to be a little bit versatile in what I do. Because I feel like it allows me to fit into more situations and deal with more types of missions and be more effective overall. So if you want to stick to one Warframe and that's all you want to play, absolutely play your way. I do suggest at least trying to play almost every Warframe you can at least once before you decide just not to play it ever again. I hate how dark this mission is, to be honest. It makes it difficult to see things. That's okay. We can technically adjust that in our brightness settings later. We're going to start sprinting, because apparently I forgot to do that. Oh, it's an extermination. Okay. I want enemies. We're going to cheat a little bit, use that, not really cheating, use that radial javelin. Does a high amount of damage, and I love it. Okay, some lockers. Let's open those up, guys. Some ferrite and credits. Oh, no, sir. You did not just look at me that way. I am not a meal for you to eat, sir. Please calm thyself. Those give you decent markers as to where the next set of enemies are. Those markers will turn green sometimes before you've actually killed everything. Oh, nice. Speed trigger. We'll go over what that is at the end of the mission, obviously. But, I do like... I entirely forgot what I was talking about. Oh, the mission marker will sometimes turn green before you've completed the mission, technically. And that just happens because the enemies are far enough away that it just doesn't give you a red marker for some reason. It's not really a bug, it's just something that they haven't really completely fleshed out and updated, because this game is still technically in beta, I think. Kind of amazing for a game still in beta, right? It's been in beta for a long time, to be honest, but it is still technically in beta until they figure out what exactly they need to do to keep up with the community and the new players and everyone. I know when Destiny 2 came out, we got a lot of new players in Warframe. Not going to throw shade against anybody that plays Destiny 2, though. So, if you feel like playing Destiny 2 and that's your game, absolutely go for it, guys. It is what it is. I don't personally like Destiny, but that's me. Tried it. I liked the general gameplay and stuff like that. I didn't like what they did with a lot of the Super Ultimate Editions and stuff like that, personally. It's, again, personal choice. You guys do what you need to do. Oh, no. You just did not go there, sir. I try to blow up those explodey guys when they're further away, as well as anything that has a toxin cloud. I really, really don't like toxin procs this early in the game because I don't have the health numbers to deal with them. My health is still below 400, and yes, guys, I am used to a lot higher numbers than that. Well, except for some Warframes, because some Warframes just don't have any health or shields, just because of how they were designed. Oh, they started to try to overrun me a little bit. Those parasitic Eximuses like that one, they drain your energy that you use for your Warframe abilities. So they can be a little bit annoying as well to try to deal with. It's really hard to hit those little ground runners sometimes, just because they're so low to the ground. Obviously. I know it's kind of sounded like an idiotic way to describe it, but don't have enough energy to activate my Rito Javelin, so I'm kind of just trying to play without my Warframe abilities for the time being. I could go really, really hunting energy if I wanted to, but I'm okay without it currently. What? This is a Cephalon fragment. We can't scan those yet, but that's what it looks like. Those are going to come up fairly soon in a junction, so I want to go and point out what one of those looks like to everyone. Yay, look at that, you guys. We did it. Of course, we're still not out of the woods yet. There are still going to be enemies between here and there. Killing the target amount of enemies does not make all of the enemies go away. If I remember correctly, the enemy spawns in an extermination type mission are limited, though. Still spawns quite a few enemies, but it is technically limited, so you can run out of enemies to kill. I don't mind the extra enemies right now because we could use the extra affinity. So the reason I'm kind of hanging out and killing a few more enemies than I normally would. Okay, he's gonna draw me in a little bit. Makes it easier to shoot him though, so it's okay. As long as there's not a mob around him, I'm okay with him pulling me. Ooh, lockers! Yay! Ooh, containers. I don't always pay attention to all of the resources I pick up as I go through a mission, to be honest. But I do take a look. Take time to take a look here. Spin Trigger was the new mod that came up, guys. It adds fire rate. I think it maxes out at plus 60% fire rate, but for bows it says ×2. Same as for bows, it starts at 20% and maxes at a 120% fire rate, which for bows is actually a very, very, very good thing to have. And for held triggers for weapons such as the Opticore, also a very, very good thing to have. Oh, nice. We got a Molten Impact. Hopefully it's not a damaged Molten Impact. She says... The Lotus is one sending this message. She says, Tenno, this is from the Dr. Tangos' reports. The additional test marines have arrived. The specimens tore through the previous batch much faster than predicted. It should be noted that that marines who survived the longest were using fire-based weapons. The infested are vulnerable to fire. I have sent a fire damage mod for you to install on your melee weapon. It should aid you in your coming mission. Okay. So that tells us that that's the game giving us a very, very free bit of advice there. It's saying that infested are vulnerable to fire. Very specifically, I feel like the best elemental type to use against them is gas, which is a combination of fire and toxin. That being said, let's take a look at our melee weapon and see what we might be able to do to it currently. So we get rid of Shocking Touch. That was the electricity mod we had on here previously. We already have Volcanic Edge installed, which adds heat damage and some status chance, which is very useful. That's the damaged one. We want the regular one. We're going to take the regular Molten Impact. We're going to put that on here as well. Actually, I lied. I'm sorry. I told you that I like gas damage, which was Toxin and Heat. So I'm actually going to take this Toxin mod and put it with the heat mod. So if you look here, it's a little bit smaller letters, but you'll be able to see that it changes the damage type from radiation to gas damage. Gas damage being very effective versus the infested. Apologies, infestation. That being said, guys, that's going to be it for this segment. We're going to pick this back up in just a minute. We're going to continue modding our weapons in our Warframe, and then we're going to dive right back into things. So thanks for watching, those of you that do. I appreciate you guys. If you like the content, or if you feel like it could be useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Again, this is Skillz with ComaCloud Gaming, and we will see you very soon. Thank you.